Good morning, good morning, good morning. Here we are again for Morning Minutes, and I'm doing my rounds this morning. I have a number of closed groups for my international brands, and of course other pages for my international brands that I go around and make sure that I'm giving the best value that I can to all of my audience, to you. But today we're going to talk about love and intimate relationships. And I wanted to bring my love story up because I do have one. In fact, I have a lot of love stories, and I don't mean that as in I have a lot of intimate relationships I'm in, but even when I look back at my relationship with my husband, Olivia and Yanni's dad, so many years ago when I was a very young, good morning, Christina. My relationship in my first marriage with my children's father, even now our relationship it flourishes and I love him. And I made a promise and a commitment to continue to do that even when we had the most difficult times because of my lack and his lack of understanding, lack of knowledge on how to move through things, how to continue on. But something inside of me, my heart, really just knew that I could not create children with another human being and not be completely in my own heart open to him and continue to want what was best for him. I just could not do it. One of the things that, it doesn't mean that it's been easy, as I said before. It doesn't mean that I got what I wanted. It doesn't mean that he behaved the way that I wanted him to. It doesn't mean that he did all the right things or that I did. But one of the things that's key here is understanding what is of the highest value. And, when I will be launching relationship courses and programs on ellewilson.com.au, which will be going up soon. It will be launched soon. And these courses are going to be on how you can understand the what's required of you, even when things break down, to stay open in your heart. Because you see, you can't break these bonds. The bonds that we create with other human beings, they last. They're bonds that cannot be broken. It doesn't matter what it looks like on the surface. So for me, relationships have always been something that have been extremely important to me, and I've done it very badly, very poorly, because of lack of understanding and lack of knowledge, and also willingness to be wrong, willingness to be vulnerable, willingness to be seen, willingness to let go, to surrender, all of those things. And when I look back at my life, I think, wow, that's what that looks like. That's what doing, not being vulnerable, not actually sitting back and taking a hit and looking inside of myself of, what's going on? What's going on inside of me? That's what that looks like. It looks like a mess, and it becomes messy. Life becomes messy. And, like I heard something last night on a show I was watching where, life can be messy, but we don't have to make our own messes. We don't have to, there's a difference between life mess that unfolds in front of you and a mess that you make. You don't have to make those messes. I loved that. It was just on some show on Netflix. And when she said it, Viola Davis, actually, God, you got to love her. When she said it, I thought to myself, yes. That's exactly right. And I look back on my life and I can see that, life can be messy. Good morning, Kerry. But why do I need to make it messier? I have to have my cup of coffee this morning, my darlings, because it's early. So, this is very, very important. So when I look back at that intimate and very significant relationship in my life, I want to stay open to it. And I want to continue to love him, and to still have difficulties, still not think it has to be perfect, but that I stay open. It has been one of the most beautiful, profound relationships in my life, even though it didn't work out. But this continuing opening and the continuing seeing of who he really is in the deep, this beautiful man that I couldn't make it work with, is just really significant to me. And I know for my children it does matter, even whether they know it or don't know it. It matters. So, then there was other relationships. I was always looking for my soulmate. I've written about this on Instagram and here. It was this thing that I really felt that I needed to find the love outside of myself. I was always, where is it? And I'm going to find it and whatever. And, when I realized it wasn't outside of me, I actually got to a point where I finally became truly committed to finding someone that was going to stick around again. The pain of leaving that first relationship really messed up what I was doing a little bit for quite a number of years, until I started to think, well, hang on a minute, I am worthy of a deep, committed relationship. And what that means to me is that you need to start removing, you're saying yes to being ready to remove the blocks you have put in between you and intimacy, true love, what love really is, and the deepening of you as your evolution as a human being. That's what being in a committed relationship means. It doesn't mean having a great wedding day. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean spending, tens of thousands of dollars to have the great day, have great photos you're going to put on your wall, and oh my gosh, I'm in a committed relationship. It doesn't mean that. What are you committed to? So my love story, I have my favorite love story is with Toby. And Toby was 11 years younger than me. So when we first met, we met at a seminar. And I remember the first time he came and tapped me on the shoulder because he saw me at the airport. And we were going to the same seminar, absolutely not knowing we were even doing that. I had no idea that was happening. I didn't see him, but I was with a friend. And he just kept seeing me everywhere. And then he saw me at this seminar, which was in Brisbane. And he said to me, good morning, beautiful Renee. And he said to me, he came and tapped me on the shoulder when he saw me at the seminar. And he said, hello. And I turned around and I looked at him and I looked into his eyes and I thought, gosh, he's kind. And those words will never leave me. I just knew that immediately. I don't know why. It's just this kindness shining out of his face, out of his eyes. And we became extremely good friends. We lived in the same city, and I never realised when we got back how long it would take him to drive from his home to get to my house for dinner. And I'd always invite him, and I'm very, very, I'll say things like, hello, darling, how are you? Oh, I just love you, and things like that. And of course, Toby was not used to that. So he was kind of thinking, oh, wow, she loves me, what, darling. And he just wasn't used to that kind of way of speaking. But, I was enjoying it. I was just being me. And anyway, it went on for a little while, and we would spend a lot of time together as friends. And, of course, I would talk, and he would listen, and he would talk, and we'd go, and I'd go and have my coffee. He never drank coffee back then, so he'd sit there and, I don't know, have a cup of tea or something. But there was something about our connection that was very deep. Toby was in a very open space, and there were times we'd be together and we'd just look at each other and we'd burst out laughing. We just had this joy that was connecting us that was much deeper than the surface, and we really didn't know why. Absolutely just cracking up laughing. We could not stop laughing. We didn't even know why. And there was just something going on that was in the unseen. We just didn't know. But never in my wildest dreams did I think that Toby and I would be together. Good morning, darling. Because Toby and I were, he was 11 years younger than me, and I didn't see him in that way. And in fact, I tried over and over to try and get him to go out with my girlfriends. I was looking for a partner for him. Dummy. So I was trying to find him the best partner I could, because I thought, oh my God, this man is just beautiful and he needs to have someone really gorgeous, and I had some beautiful single friends. So here I was trying to set him up. And of course, he found that really funny, no resistance, just so beautiful. Just, he would go out to dinner with different girls and friends of mine and other people, and he just wasn't interested at all. And then 5 months later, I got the email, the email saying, all the beautiful things that a woman could possibly just imagine. And I'm thinking, the age for me was a big deal, because it just was. And so I really had to make a decision. I had to almost move through this level, some level of unworthiness inside of myself. I had this block. I had this false belief in me that I wasn't worthy of someone like Toby. I had other very beautiful men come and share time with me and become very beautiful friends, and then out of the blue tell me that they love me, and I would just be in shock. I just couldn't believe it, because I had this filter of unworthiness sitting in there. And did it come from the past or an experience? Well, it did, yes, but it was still inside of me, very unconscious. So whenever I was looking for men, I was finding people unavailable. This is after my marriage. People that, of course, the guilt of leaving my marriage, that's another thing. So I had all these layers of dishonesty that were sitting in there, false beliefs about myself. And when Toby came forward and said, you know what, I'm here, I'm ready, like, I love you, and this is like, I want to be with you. For me, I had to really, I had to break down. I had to actually literally be willing to see what I was holding on to that was false and to release it. And I did. I cried all night long. And it was one thing my father had said to me when I was around 19 years old. He was angry, and I heard him say to my mum, "Who would want her?" Now, that was a cruel, unkind thing to say, but he said it because he was angry at me, because my soon-to-be husband and I had broken up for a while, and he was very disappointed because he loved him, and he just said this thoughtless thing, and I heard it, and I took it to heart. I made it real, and I hung on to that. And when I saw that, just after Toby had professed his love for me, to me, I sat down in stillness and quiet, and I thought, whoa, this is unbelievable. I've been hanging on to this, and I was broken around it. I was broken around this false belief, and I just cried all night long. And then I was ready. But I didn't really realize what I was ready for. What I was ready for was huge. And we're going to talk about that, because we're going to talk about that next week. We're going to talk more about what happened after I said yes, because this is where it all matters. And the next 12 years for me, wow, I was shook up like anything, because I can tell you one thing for me with Toby, that our relationship is extremely deep, it's extremely profound, our connection is profound, and that really I had to, and I still do, and I love the sweetness of it now. But wow, was I going to be facing everything inside of me that was false, untrue, all of my willfulness, my willpower, my fake strength of trying to be strong, trying to be right. I had to face all of that. I had to learn how to be in a deep, intimate relationship from scratch. That's what I'm going to offer you. That's what we're going to talk about next week. Make sure you're on Morning Minutes, because it's going to be great. And I'm going to open my heart to you. I'm going to become extremely transparent. And when the course for intimate relationships, how to make your marriage deep, profound, and beautiful comes out and is released, you'll be the first to know. But for now, let's just explore the possibilities here on Morning Minutes. Let's explore what's possible and how we can not be in a rut in our relationships. If your relationship's in a rut, you are in a rut. You're not looking. You can have the deepest, most beautiful relationship. The relationship that you can't even imagine in your wildest dreams, the beauty of it. And it doesn't matter to me if you said to me, "Oh, but my husband is this." That's the problem. "Oh, but my husband does that." "Oh, but he's not interested." He doesn't have to be. You are the one that is going to rise up with me in a way that I have and I do, so that you can have really with another human being what marriage is really about, what true commitment is really about. You have to know that. You have the power. It is not the man. You have the power. And that's what I'm leaving you with this week. I want you to open your heart, your soul, your mind. Your mind just follows your heart, whether you know it or not. And with that, I wish you a beautiful weekend. We might pop on this weekend and do some wellness chats on food and all kinds of other things, juicing. Got lots of ideas with that. But for now, let's say goodbye or good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And let's keep talking about this very, very important topic for women. Love being with you. And I'm expecting to have a glorious day today. And I hope that you can put that thought out and open your heart to whatever comes today, that you'll open to it and that you will accept reality as it is and as it's unfolding and be happy. Love you dearly. Take care. Bye now.